This is Ernie and Jerry. Ernie is 1-year-old black lab and Jerry is a 3-year-old chocolate lab. And I'll be using both of them in this video to demonstrate back-end awareness, the touch command, and come to heel command. There are several steps we will be demonstrating, but we always start with some luring work. Here I'm using food to lure Jerry into different positions to ensure I can use luring to achieve some of our other goals in this video. This work is not complicated, as you can see. In fact, you can even do the work in your morning attire as you see me here. Simply lure the dog with food by the nose, then slowly fading out the food as the dog demonstrates they are following your hand and not the food. Okay, it's Ernie's turn for luring work. Luring is the foundation for all of the new command work that I do. Luring helps a dog gain clear perspective of what is being asked of him or her. Initially, I'm rewarding when the dog is in the position I want without saying a word. We will add a marker word as the session goes on. Here, I start marking Ernie's position with yes when he is in position or completes a spin that you see here. The marker word will become critical to command work as we move further along. I also change hands while luring so Ernie is not following just one hand, but gains total perspective of all the luring work. Now on to the touch command. I start by luring Jerry onto my touch pad. Once 2 paws are on the pad, I mark it with yes and reward him. Notice I lure over the top of the touch pad using my body to guide him. After a few repetitions, you can see that Jerry now understands the 2 paws on the touch pad gets a reward. I'm working less to get him there at this point, but I am still marking the action with a yes before rewarding. Ernie has had less repetitions, so you can see that I come behind the touch pad initially to encourage him not to come off the pad. When Ernie's 2 paws go up onto the touch pad, I mark it with yes and reward. I'm not worried about position at this point, just the action. You will see at the end I have moved back to the side of the pad as I did with Jerry. Now I'm adding in the touch command. I'm still luring Jerry, but now I say touch, then I lure, then I mark with yes, and reward him when his 2 paws are up on the touch pad. Now you will notice after a few repetitions that I start the proofing process by giving the command, touch, a slight hand signal, and then I'm marking his paws on the touch pad with a yes, but I start holding the reward for a few more seconds each time. This allows me to know whether Jerry truly knows the touch command. Now it's Ernie's turn. I will repeat the process as I did with Jerry, but notice that Ernie gets the concept a bit quicker. That's dog training. Each dog is a little different, even within the same breed. Notice at this point, I am not offering a hand signal, and I'm only offering up the command itself. I'm giving a reward at different intervals after I mark when his paws are on the touchpad with a yes and then a reward. This proofing process is what I use for all of my new commands to ensure the dog has a solid understanding of the command that it's being taught. Now we start to work on the proper heel position with Jerry. I stand with my back to him, give the touch command, and reward him at my side after marking the position with a yes. Well, it's clear to me now that Jerry clearly understands the touch command and he's getting a good position for me every time. So now the future repetitions here are all with the heel command. So as I walk up, I say heel, yes, and reward. I'm going to repeat this several times so that Jerry starts to understand and connect the heel command with the position that he gets himself into when he hears the word yes and that he has rewarded. So essentially, we've taken the touch command and turned it into a heel command for future use with the come to heel command. Okay, Ernie, it's your turn. Again, I'm going to walk up to the side of the touchpad. I'm going to give the command touch. I'm going to mark it with yes when his paws are both on top. And then I'm going to reward him in the position that I want him in. You're going to see us repeat this several times, and you can see that Ernie is very excited about working through this. He knows there's a treat on the other end, and labs sure love rewards. Okay, now we're going to turn the touch command into the heel command. As I did with Jerry, I'm going to walk up to the side of the touchpad. I'm going to say heel, and when Ernie gets up on his two paws, I'm going to mark it with yes, and I'm going to reward him in the position that I want him in. And you can see he is having a ball with this. He knows that there's a lot of rewards, and boy does he get excited about that. We're going to repeat this a couple of times, and you can see I'm already starting to proof it by holding out the reward a few seconds more each time to ensure that he really understands the command. You'll notice one final aspect of this training, and that is that I reset him each time, put him in a sit before I call him over to me for a heel. That allows him to clearly understand the come to heel command. Okay, now we put the heel command and position together with luring to get Jerry to move his back end. As he starts to move his back end, I mark it with yes. This exercise helps solidify their independent knowledge of how to move their rear. This doesn't often come natural for most dogs. Watch now as I lure Jerry with the treat in my hand, and he moves his back end until he gets into the heel position. This comes from being able to put him in those positions, marking it with yes, using luring, and using all the tools that we have available to us. You can see here we're going to start moving around the touchpad, and he's going to continue to move his back end. The idea here is we'll continue to do repetitions until we can go all the way around the touchpad, and then we'll probably start to go the other direction. But for now, we just want to get him going into one direction and getting him feel comfortable with moving around and moving his back end independently. You'll notice here that he clearly understands the position he should be in for heel. And as I move around, his objective is to get back in that heel position as I'm marking with yes, and you can see he's moving his back end to get there. So we've made a lot of progress. Keep in mind, this is not easy for dogs to do, so have some patience with them. Do this a bunch of times. Sometimes you have to start really slow, and any movement in the back end, mark with yes and reward. And then just continue working until the dog gets really comfortable with it and you feel like you've really hit a home run. I think we've hit a home run here, Jerry. Thank you, pal. All right, here we go with Ernie. Now, Ernie is far less experienced with this, so you're going to see this be a little bit messy. But I left it in on purpose. It's not always easy, as I mentioned earlier, that dogs can be able to do this. So what you'll see me do is I'm luring Ernie, and any back end movement, I give him a yes, and then I give him the reward. We're going to repeat this, but what you'll see over time is he'll start to get better and better with moving his back end. He already understands the heel command. You can see he gets in great position when I give him the command. Now the trick is, even if it's a little bit at a time, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to get him, and right there, he did a great job at moving his back end. So that was a great moment for him. He's not in the best position yet, but he's getting there, and he's getting to understand how to move his back end. Okay, now let's show you some of the progress Ernie's made. Look at that. Move his whole back end to get back into the heel position. And I'm going to continue working my way around the touchpad, giving the heel command, and when necessary, give him a little lure to get him to understand to move his back end, and then I'm going to reward him when he gets back into heel position. Heel, and here we go. I'm really lucky with this dog because while he's young, he's very energetic and loves to work. He's got a great work ethic. So that's a great thing for me, and not all dogs are that way. but enjoy it when you do have a dog that's got a high energy and a high drive, because you can really get a lot of work out of them and you can make a lot of progress quickly. Great job, Ernie. These guys are just a lot of fun. And these are things that you can do 10 minutes in the morning. You can just kind of do some of these exercises. Before you know it, you're going to have a dog that can really rock and roll. Okay, now for the real trick. We're going to go the other direction this time. I was previously going to my left, and now I'm going to go to the right. And this is really especially difficult for dogs to do. You can see here, Ernie's really trying hard. Just a little bit of movement in that back end, he's going to get a yes and a reward. We're going to continue to do this a little bit and see how he does. But boy, he's really picked up on it quick. Great job, Ernie. Now this shows that he can then move his back end independently both to the right and to the left. And that's important because we want to ensure that he can truly move his back end independently. Now for the big test. We're going to move both directions. We're going to first move to our right as we just were. Notice how Ernie holds his heel position right up against me. Clearly understands the heel position and clearly understands how to move his back end that direction. Whoops. Yeah, we lost our focus a little bit. That's okay, Ernie. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So now we're moving to our left. We've changed directions, and Ernie knows he needs to keep his heel position next to me. I'm giving him a yes, and I'm rewarding him. Here we go again, more to the left, and then we're going to switch it up and we're going to move back the other direction. Again, he's being able to move independently all on his own. Great job. Okay, now we're going to practice from different angles. So here I have Jerry coming to me from the side. You can see initially he gets up there, but he's not in the right position. So I give him a little lure to get his back end into proper heel position before I mark it with yes and then reward him. Now I'm just kind of resetting him, making sure he's more to the side of me, and I'm giving the command to heel. Up to the side, and you can see his back end hops around so he gets right into position. We're going to repeat this several times to ensure that he really understands to getting into the heel position and using his back end to get him there. He's doing a great job, but just like everything, and I'm showing you all of the goofy stuff here, that sometimes dog training is what it is, and nothing ever goes perfectly every time. Have some patience with these guys. Especially this kind of stuff, it's really not that easy. So, you can see I'm luring him back into a sit, and, well, he's a little distracted. I've got a high value treat in my hand, and man, that's what he wants. But we're going to get him there, and you're going to see in this next clip here that he just really does a great job, clearly understands what's being asked of him. All the way around, without using the lure with my hand, he just moved independently on his own. Just fantastic. And that's really how you get to the come to heel command. By getting him to be able to come to you from any angle, being able to move his back end around and getting right into a heel position as he demonstrates here. So, when you put all those pieces together, this is what the final product looks like. So this is going to be a bit longer clip with Ernie, and I left all the footage in here because I truly want you to watch the progress and the process that we go through. Ernie has had not near as many repetitions as Jerry has, so he's going to struggle a little bit more than Jerry, and that's okay. Again, that's what dog training is all about. That's the fun of it, that every dog is unique, every dog is different, but it's so much fun watching their progress and watching them make progress through any of your training protocols. So you can see here I'm having to do quite a bit of luring to get Ernie into position. He's again, much like Jerry, coming from me at the side, and he's not quite caught on to being able to move around quickly to be able to get his reward. But if you watch this clip all the way through, what you'll see is he starts to make tremendous progress, moving his back end around and getting right into the heel position. Again, this becomes the come to heel position. I'm resetting him each time, and as I go over and I get set, I say, Ernie, come, heel, and we get into position, And then as soon as he moves around and he gets quite into position, I mark yes, and he gets a reward. Okay, here I am in my hallway. I like to use my hallway because there's a solid wall on one side. Gives us some spatial recognition for the dog and really kind of helps hone the heel position. So I'm putting Jerry, in this case, in a sit position in front of me. I'm going to call him to come, and then I'm going to give him the heel command. In this case, though, we're starting with luring, and I'm just going to lure him to the back, and I'm going to reward him as he gets in back of me. I'll reset him. As he comes through this time, I'm going to start shaping him, as you see there, to come back into the heel position before I reward him. So again, he's in a sit. I'm going to ask him to come, and then give him the heel command. And watch my hand as I bring it around and right into the heel position there. Okay, magic time. Here we go. Notice this time I don't move my hand. I just put it to my side. Jerry comes to me, and he's able to move right around and back into the heel position. The wall really acts as a barrier for him and gives him the opportunity to know that he really has to swing his back end around. Here we go again. Wow, great job. Okay, we're going to work the same program with Ernie. Notice what I'm starting with. I always start with luring, as I did at the beginning of this video. And I think you can see why at this point. How often I've used luring to help the dog understand what behavior or position that I want him in. So I'm just doing some luring work. This is easy work that you can do at any point in time in your home while you're making dinner or doing anything else, just hanging outside the house. So here we go. I'm again just luring him to the back and allowing him to get reward there. The next phase of this is I will lure him all the way through, but I'll turn my hand around so I can enable him to get back into the position I want before I say yes, and then I reward him. We're going to repeat this a couple of times. Okay, Ernie, magic time. Here we go. No luring this time. Just calling Ernie to come and put him into heel position, and you can see he moves his back end around and gets into a great position. As soon as he's in position, I mark it with yes, and he gets his reward. You can see how the wall really helps him here. So this is the final protocol that I use for the come to heel position and putting all of the aspects together that we talked about all the way through this video. You can see where luring is very important, and being able to help a dog understand his back end is critical.